In today's fast-paced world, you need a partner who's always looking out for what's coming next. A team with the expertise to help keep identities, payments, and data secure. One who can help protect your data and networks and secure the digital journey customers want now and in the future. So you can secure what you've built, protect what you're building, and accelerate your growth. Entrust, securing a world in motion. Learn more at entrust.com/podcast.
Jake from State Farm here, hanging out with Mel's Mow and Grow. Mel chose State Farm for small business insurance because his local agent is a small business owner too. So she knew how to help him personalize his policies. And now, he's rolling in the green. Like a good neighbor? Guys, I'm trying to do the line.
Oh, sorry, Jake.
It's all good. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Talk to an agent today.
Welcome to the Think Different podcast. That's right. You know what time it is. It is time for the only Apple podcast with two former Apple retail employees. I am Will TLD, the owner of WV Productions. Please check me out if you need me for your wedding day, bar mitzvah, funeral. Please hire me to be your guy. And of course, I'm with my great friend. He is the former Apple creative, retired book publisher, soccer mom recorder, Jurassic Park owner. He is black coffee drinker, juror number 12, the retirement home president, the keto trout drummer himself, Mr. Frank Fuck is here.
Hey, how are you, Will?
I'm wonderful. Look at good man. How
wonderful Jersey.
Things are doing great in Jersey. There's weather starting to turn, so that's a great thing. How are you in the 1920s chair?
I'm good. I'm down here at the former Al Capone's retreat in Florida, and it's very nice, beautiful weather.
Are you hiding something down there, Frank? Is that what you're trying to tell us?
I'm trying to get into a safe.
Oh, well, we're going to need one, especially for one of the articles we're going to talk about today. But today is all about some Apple retail news. We like to do like once a month, do some Apple retail news that's going on. Plus, we are going to talk about iCloud Plus today. And we're even going to include a special training that we're going to do right on the air. If you go watch our YouTube channel, we will show it up there. But here, we're going to talk about iCloud Plus, and specifically how to set up a custom email domain, which I have my own domain.
Ooh.
Yeah, so I'm going to show live. So I figured I'm going to share my screen. We're going to go through the steps. Of course, we will blur some of the things out that I don't want you to see, and we will set that up. So let's get started, Frank. We have to start off with obviously the biggest thing that has been going on the last couple of months that we've completely ignored, but we got to talk about it. So Apple has blocked all sales in Russia on its online store. And I also believe that all the retail, I don't know if all the retail stores are open or not. Do you know that, Frank?
I don't. I would imagine not.
Yeah, well, so I'm very curious to know if the Apple...
They don't have any stock, so...
They don't have much to go. I mean, I'm sure you can still go get repairs done.
Yeah.
That's the only thing you're probably going to get there, but you're not going to be able to buy anything.
Yeah. It's very tough situation over there. I don't know if this action by Apple is going to really have any kind of significant impact. Certainly, it'll have an impact on some people, but I don't think it'll have an impact on those that are calling the shots. So I just hope that somehow those things get resolved over there quickly, and
I would agree.
In Ukraine's favor.
I actually just found out there is no Apple retail store in Russia, so they don't have to worry about that. Third parties.
Just online.
Yeah, so you will not be able to buy your Apple products in Russia right now because of stupid Putin, and that's the way it works, folks. But we had conversations in private about this whole thing, and honestly, they're following a trend that everybody else is doing, where they're just trying to crush Russia's economy just to tell them to stop. Is it going to work or not? I'm sure it will hurt somewhere. It's got to hurt somewhere. In the long run, maybe.
My take on it is with China as an ally, no, it's not going to hurt. It's because Germany, for example, gets, I think it's close to 90% of their energy sources from Russia, oil, gas. Okay. And by not buying Russian oil, the Chinese will say, fine, or they have said, fine, we'll buy as much as you can send to us. So I don't know. But it's a very difficult situation. And,
I guarantee you, they're definitely not getting a Zevy over there. Not sponsored, of course. I guarantee they don't have that.
Nope.
Going back to Apple retail news, that they also dropped the mask mandate. So finally, the trend has been moving in the right direction. Pretty much, you don't have to wear a mask anymore. And pretty soon, airplanes, you don't have to wear a mask anymore, which is going to be even better. I'm not flying until September, but it's exciting.
Where are you going in September?
Going to Florida, baby. Where you are right now. Going to Daytona Beach, Florida, to see my parents-in-laws.
Oh, there you go. But they're not far from where I'm at.
Yeah, it'll be Luke's first time on a plane.
Oh man, why don't you drive?
I'm not driving to Florida. That ain't happen. So not with him in the car. No way. It'd be even worse. So no, thank you. But I'm glad at least they're dropping the mandate. I mean, Apple was pretty on top of it. Like, you really had to wear a mask no matter who came into the store, vaccinated or not. They were very strict on that rule.
Right, and they supplied masks, so that was
they did.
That was good. But
they have to. If you're going to be forced to wear one, you better supply one.
Yeah. The employees are still going to have to wear them, but people in the store don't have to.
Yeah, I really don't understand that either. I mean, Apple also is planning to resume their creative classes, which I think they're finally starting to do. But man, boy, you talk about a creative role, man. A role in the Apple Store that is almost useless now. And it's going to take a long time for that to come back.
You mean?
Yeah, who's going to come and sit around a table with people right now that you don't know?
Yeah, the table wasn't even 6 foot long, so you couldn't stay 6 feet apart.
No, exactly. That's what makes it even harder. So, yeah, good luck, creative worlds.
You remember those sessions where we used to have 8 and 10 people crowded around that table?
Oh, my God. Well, if you went to a bigger Apple Store, it was great. But when you go to a smaller one, you can't do the same kind of sessions. In fact, you have to limit them. That's where, again, where one-to-one was valuable was the one-to-one. It was a smaller, I still do not get why Apple does not have that in their stores. I know that most people now know how to use Apple products, but my God, it would still make a big difference.
Yeah.
And then finally, this, interesting this week, which caused like a big outbreak. Apple had a knockout of iCloud, App Store, and other services went offline. This was on Monday, on March 21st. There was a significant blackout. A lot of things went offline. Pretty much Apple Maps, Music, Apple News, Apple TV Plus, iCloud, the App Store, Apple Store, iMessage, and even Find My Phone were all affected. People could not make purchases, download apps, update the phone. So it was a pretty significant outage that affects a lot of people.
Yeah. I mean, that's business as usual, right?
Right.
I mean, how many times when we were in the store when, a system would go down?
From a retail side, yes. Yeah. I mean, there were times we couldn't. I remember we still had to pull out the old credit card. We had to scan the credit card. That had to happen sometimes when we were down. Or we just didn't sell anything. There was a time I remember we didn't even Quicker Bridge didn't even sell anything. They said we can't sell you anything. I don't think our boss would not even want to pull those out, even though that probably is an option. He doesn't even want to bother pulling that out.
Well, I don't think. If you went there today and you showed that equipment to one of the specialists, they wouldn't know how to run it. No way.
They don't teach them. They don't teach them how to do that. No. And I don't think it's even something I would think it's a much more of a hassle just to wait it out than to go through that part of it. By the way, on our website, which I'm showing right now, is the system status page. This is actually available for you to go to. It's apple.com/support/system status. You can actually go to this page and you can see what the statuses are for that day. So if you feel like something's not working, yes. So if you feel like something's not working correctly, check this page out. I think it's very valuable. I use it all the time just to show people, hey, Apple's even saying it. I think a system status page is extremely valuable to know when something's not working right.
Yeah. Even we used to use it in the store as well.
Right.
Somebody would come in and say, this or that wasn't working properly. One of the things we would do is go to that page, make sure that system wasn't reporting any kind of glitches or anything.
Mm-hmm. So. You're correct, sir. So those are some of the Apple things that were going on this week. It wasn't too much news like there was the previous week where we had, invasions in Apple stores and holding things up in ransom. It wasn't as exciting this week. But I personally, when the outage, by the way, occurred, I didn't feel any difference. I didn't even know it was even happening.
Yeah.
So that was just me.
I'll tell you, I've been reading a lot about the Apple Studio because it's something that I'm considering getting. And I'm telling you, the things I'm reading out on and watching on YouTube are rave reviews, even for the monitor, believe it or not, at $1,600 from singer-songwriters, people working in a studio, whether it be art design or music. They're just absolutely loving it. And I'm like, wow. So I'm a little surprised because I thought
definitely surprising. Yeah.
It was a little high priced, but I haven't. People are loving the fact that they put the SD card slot and the USB slots right on the front. Mm-hmm. So it's getting very good reviews. So I'm considering picking myself up one. But my issue is, what do I do for the monitor? That's the only thing.
I already told you, you're not getting that studio display. Don't get it. It's not worth the money. Get something that's like $700, $800. Just get a TV so you can make it a multifunctional. Maybe you won't get like the color and the really good LED. But find something good. Do your research. There's no rush on that. You can use a TV in the meantime.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Mac Studio has been getting really great reviews. People are really liking it. I think, again, the Ultra is way too advanced, even for someone like me. You could get away with the Mac, the Macs, without a doubt. You don't need any. The only thing you got to think about doing is how much storage you want to put on it. That's it.
Right. Well, the fact that you have these multiple ports that you can. I mean, SSD
external
drives
storage,
now are relatively inexpensive.
Maybe not like a 4 terabyte one, but you could definitely. Plus, the biggest thing too is that Apple has the fastest SSDs within a computer, without a doubt. That is proven fact. You're not going to get that same speed through maybe Thunderbolt will give you a little bit, but you still need a Thunderbolt device. I have worked with external storage. Trust me, on my old computer at least, I know it was not the greatest experience. I haven't tried on a new one because guess what? I bought a 4 terabyte. I made the room necessary so I didn't have to do that. And it's been a blessing.
Well, all right. I'll have to keep that in mind. But, I do have budgetary constraints.
Oh, shut up. No, you don't. Ladies and gentlemen, Frank right now is sitting in a 19th century chair. Are you with a plant next to him? Are you telling me that this guy is not made of money? Look at him. Yeah, water that plant, by the way. It looks like crap. So, all right, ladies and gentlemen, let's get to the main part of our episode. Frank was nice enough to use his voice and do a special keynote, which talks about iCloud Plus, and after that is over, we're going to come back with our thoughts on iCloud Plus some more stuff we're going to talk about. It's a plus episode.
On iCloud Plus, I should say, first of all, you get 5 gigabytes of free storage with Apple iCloud. The iCloud Plus service goes beyond that. You can choose from 50 gigabytes, 200 gigabytes, or 2 terabytes of storage. The 50 gigabyte includes iCloud Private Relay, Hide My Email feature, custom email domain, HomeKit security video support for 1 camera, share everything with up to 5 other family members. The 200 gigabytes of storage includes the Privacy Relay, Hide My Email feature, custom email domain, HomeKit security for up to 5 cameras, and again, you can share everything with all 5 family members. The 2 terabyte, again, Privacy Relay, Hide My Email feature, custom email domain, HomeKit security video support for unlimited number of cameras. And also you can share that with up to 5 other family members. Now, what's Private Relay? Normally when you browse the web, information contained in your web traffic, such as your DNS records and IP address, can be seen by your network provider and the websites you visit. This information could be used to determine your identity and build a profile for your location and browsing history over time. iCloud Private Relay is designed to protect your privacy by ensuring that when you browse the web in Safari, no single party, not even Apple, can see both who you are and what sites you're visiting. When Private Relay is enabled, your requests are sent through 2 separate secure internet relays. Your IP address is visible to your network provider and to the first relay, which is operated by Apple. Your DNS records are encrypted, so neither party can see the address of the website you're trying to visit. The second relay, which is operated by a third-party content provider, generates a temporary IP address, decrypts the name of the website you requested, and connects you to the site. All of this is done using the latest internet standards to maintain a high-performance browsing experience while protecting your privacy. Now, this is very similar to the VPN, virtual private network apps that you see advertised either on the internet or through the App Store. It's not exactly like the VPN, but very, very similar. And it has your privacy in mind, which is something that Apple is very, very big on. Hide My Email. Now, I mentioned earlier that this is a feature that Apple has brought back. Now, Hide My Email generates unique, random email addresses that automatically forward to your personal inbox. Each address is unique to you. You can read and respond directly to emails sent to these addresses, and your personal email address is kept private. Now, this is, in my opinion, is very cool. I love this feature. If you're out on the internet shopping, whether it be for an automobile or furniture or whatever, and they request your email, when you go in there, you can select automatically create an email, and it'll create a random email address, put in a random password, which you can put in your own, but I would recommend just letting the system do it. And it keeps track of all of it. And then if you decide at some point, let's say you went out and got some information for an automobile or whatever, and you get responses back, and now you're getting spam from them. You can go into the listing and delete that email address, and it has nothing to do with your private email. Very, very handy feature. I love this feature. I'm so happy they brought this back. It's very, very nice when you're browsing the web and you just, whether you're shopping for musical equipment, automobiles, whatever the case may be, you can use this. Great, great feature. Custom email domain. All right, if you subscribe to iCloud Plus and own a personal domain name, you can set up iCloud Mail to use it when sending or receiving mail, so your recipients see mail coming from your personalized email address. After you configure your domain, you can set up any existing email address you already own, create new ones, or delete any you don't need anymore. You can use your custom email address in the Mail app on any device signed in with your Apple ID and iCloud Mail turned on. or on iCloud.com/mail. You can also use it for messages, FaceTime, calendar, to sign into your devices, and more. You can use iCloud Mail to send and receive email with up to 5 personal domains, with up to 3 email addresses per domain. If you share iCloud Plus with your family sharing group, you can also share your email domain with them. Anyone in your family sharing group can add a custom domain, choose whether or not to share it, and manage the email addresses that they use with that domain. Now, for the average person, I mean, this is a nice feature, but I think this is more applicable to a small business person that may have and want their own domain name for their email addresses to associate with their business, whether it be a web business or a brick and mortar business. However, this is still a very, very nice feature that I feel a lot of people will take advantage of. iCloud HomeKit Security Video. All right, so you can store your videos from any HomeKit compatible camera to iCloud. This is very nice because if you purchase, let's say, doorbells that have secure videos, you can either store the video on a SD card, which usually are pretty small, or you subscribe to their cloud service. So here, if you buy a camera or a doorbell or any kind of security camera that's HomeKit compatible, now, because it's HomeKit compatible, it will cost a little more. However, all of that video that is recorded, you can store in your iCloud storage. So here, depending upon the level you choose in your iCloud Plus, meaning 50 gigabytes, 200 gigabytes, or 2 terabyte, you can have anywhere from 1 camera to unlimited number of cameras. So this is something that they've added that I find very, very useful, very easy to use. And again, any questions, any problems, any help you may need with setup, all you have to do, call Apple support. And when I say call them, they can call you. You can set up a time for them to call you back. I've always had very, very good results with Apple support. So that's it for now. And on the Apple services, I hope you found it useful. And please drop us a comment. Let us know. Thank you.
All right, everybody, we are back from the video. Thank you, Frank. You are amazing at your videos, Frank.
Hey, thank you very much. I hope everybody enjoyed it, got some useful information out of it, and we're going to talk a little bit more on how to do some of those things.
Right. And this is a podcast exclusive, guys. You will not hear this on our YouTube channel, which, by the way, you should be subscribing to, by the way. We've been pumping out more content than we ever have, including Final Cut Fridays, which I've done a video every Friday with Final Cut. And I haven't even gotten to the timeline yet. We haven't even started editing. We've only been organizing and importing.
That's okay. There's a lot of stuff there. They're great videos. That everybody should go out and watch those.
Absolutely. I agree. So let's talk about iCloud pricing real quick. It was brought up, but not really. So remember, there's 3 different storage plans, 99 cents, $2.99, and then I believe it's $9.99 a month for that. I personally have the 2 terabyte storage plan. I am not a Apple One subscriber, but I do have this one. I mean, the good thing is the only difference between both plans is going to be the HomeKit security video. That's the only difference,
right?
Besides storage size. It's going to be how many you can have.
Yes. And the iCloud Plus with the 2 terabyte, you have unlimited home security camera storage. And they go down with each subsequent from 1 to 2 and so on and so forth.
Mm-hmm. We also wanted to talk about a feature that maybe has not even been shown. So what we're going to do now is talk about how to set up a custom email domain. So this is more for a business, but I think it's important to see it. So right now we are on my iCloud settings. This is all my iCloud information here. So hopefully there's nothing here that I have to blur out. But basically, you can see how much storage I use. I have 857 gigs left, but look how much I'm using. A 200 plan would not work for me.
I'm not seeing that, Will. Oh, there you go. Okay.
Yes, you are. You're dude. Take your eyes out of your eyes. All right. So here's this is available. I don't believe you could set this up on your phone. I believe you have to go to iCloud.com to do this. Yes. So right now we're going to be setting up a custom email domain. So under Manage, it'll take me to the page. So right now I started this ahead of time. So we'll keep going with it. So this is my website, www.vafidisproductions.com. This was something I was setting up. And first off, you enter your domain details. They actually know that my domain is registered with GoDaddy, so they actually are very aware of that. You can add existing email addresses. So right now I do have one. I've never used it, so I'm not even going to bother setting this up if I wanted to. So I'm just going to hit continue going down. So remember, you want to put in your domain. It has to figure out where it is, and now I have to sign into GoDaddy and follow the steps. So I'm going to hit continue. It's going to open up a separate page. I always love that. Of course, I'm going to use my trusty Touch ID here to sign in, which I love.
There you go.
How great is that?
Yep.
All right. So it's telling me put your domain to work. Click connect to enable service custom email domain from iCloud. I'm going to do that right now. And it's now done. That was easy. So now what? I'm all done. So it's verifying my domain, and it says it takes a few minutes, could take up to 24 hours. So we have to come back and take a look at it. But that's it. It's that simple. I honestly, that could not have been harder. I'm joking. That was easy.
So what's the cost for GoDaddy to host your site?
Not much. Probably $9-10 a year. It's not much at all. I do all my stuff on Wix.com. That's where I do. Wix is very expensive, by the way. It's even for a base website monthly. Even if I wanted a domain on there, it just is way over too much. I'd rather just buy the domain separately. Like right now, for example, my website, I built it for free, and I have like the Wix ads on the top and bottom, which I don't care. Honestly, it's not that big of a deal. They could go away if I pay the monthly fee, and then I can also reconnect my domain away from GoDaddy to be officially on Wix, but the amount of money to run that site is just not worth it for me. Now, I have the hide my email feature in here, which I love. So you can actually, I don't even know what that is, but you can actually have an, so it says keep personal email addresses private by creating unique random addresses. So right now they actually have a weird one here. I don't even know where this even came from.
Well, they'll create them on the fly.
Yeah, I don't know what Sasha's mistress is. I don't remember this.
they'll create them on the fly, and they'll link them automatically to your iCloud email.
Yeah, so if I wanted to make one for like TLD, I can make like one that says TLD. I'm gonna deactivate this. I don't even know what this is. but you can set up a new email address. So for example, I could put a label on it. So I could say TLD wrestling. And that's how I label it. And then I create it. So it's called Hostage Ice Cap. That's a pretty funny. The names are pretty funny. I'm not gonna lie. I don't know what that is, but you can basically copy this email address and use it anywhere. So it's kind of great. So that's one thing too. If you're gonna do the hide or the private address, you have to make sure you know that stuff, because for any reason, if you can't get on the website for any reason, now I've noticed this too. If you're using the Apple ID feature on the app, the website version may not necessarily be using it. I've noticed that for some websites. So that's a big problem to me, because how can they offer on the app version but not the web version? So then you have to scramble in your phone to find that. And that's a little difficult.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure there may be some bumps, but I'm sure they'll work them out as more and more people start using this,
Yep, I agree. So that was really easy. So, I mean, iCloud, yes, you're paying $10 a month. It's definitely a lot of money compared to most. Would you say compared to most storages out there?
Well, listen, the biggest thing, and I know I keep harping on it, but is privacy. Everything that's out there is yours. It's not going anywhere to anybody. So, if you value that kind of thing, then that's going to cost you.
Mm-hmm.
So, and now I'm a Apple One Premium member, so I get, not that I'm not using all of those features, but I do have access to them. So, like the unlimited cameras, when we connect all of our home security to HomeKit, I can store all of that. So maybe I'll take advantage of it.
Right.
Family, Apple Music, Apple TV, all of that. So.
I want to point out the price differences, and when you look at it, it's actually not terrible. So iCloud charges $9.99 for a 2 terabyte. Google charges $9.99 for 2 terabyte. OneDrive for $9.99 you get 6 terabytes, which is crazy amount. And then for Dropbox you pay $11.99, so you got to pay a little bit of a premium here for that.
Yep.
So iCloud's not that bad of a deal. The 50 gig drive, honestly, I think we're at the point where the 50 gig has to go away.
Yeah.
I mean, the 5 gig is a great free. It's almost like a trial. I wish they would just call it 5 gigs is your trial. That's how I explain it to everybody. And then upgrading, which you're going to have to do eventually, especially when you get more than one device, you definitely have to get it. The 5 gig plan is not a sustainable plan.
I think the 50 gig at 99 cents, if somebody, for example, you run into people that run out of storage on their phone because of photos. Mm-hmm. So you just tell them, look, you can get 50 gig in iCloud for 99 cents a month. I mean, come on. And I think that's why that's there.
And you can see the chart, and you can see on my chart that I'm showing here on Google Drive. Google Drive gives you 15 gigs for free, which is very generous of them, honestly, compared to OneDrive, which is 5, and Dropbox is ridiculous with 2. So they're really ridiculous. Dropbox is becoming less and less of like an option I would ever go with.
Yep.
Like I would choose Google Drive before I choose Dropbox.
Oh, I can tell you right now, I wouldn't choose Google for anything. So,
well, I used to have it. I don't anymore because I haven't been taking advantage of iCloud enough because I just this year started sharing files via iCloud, and the biggest reason why I didn't do it because originally they didn't work with folders. They were only working with files, and then they switched it to now you can share a folder. Now, there's also a limit. I believe iCloud, you can't upload a file that's more than 50 gigs, and they will kibosh that. So you can't, and that it has to be in Finder, by the way, as well. I think the web browser version, you can only upload like more than like 5 gigs or something like that. It's like there's a limitation on that. So you have to really use Finder if you have a really big file. So, and I've been using that, and no one's had a problem with it.
Yeah.
Speaking of that, I got to do my taxes. Because my tax guy called today, and I actually have to. I sent him like a zip file, and it didn't work, and I got to send him the iCloud link to download. So, but I love this episode talking about iCloud. I think it's great that we talked about it. It gives you a good perspective of what iCloud is not bad of a deal. Apple is not stealing a lot, especially if you get the Apple One, then you really get a bargain.
Yeah, and again, it's like anything else. You can get a really cheap gym membership, but if you don't go, what difference does it make? So
you should tell my wife that because she has massages right now at Hand and Stone, paying $80 a month. She has not gone in 24 months.
Well, you must be doing a good job then giving her your own massages.
My bowling hands do really have this amazing power. That is true. But I think it's time to, spend the $80 that you spend for the last 24 months. Think of how much money that is that she has not used it.
Hey,
Yeah, I'm calling her out. I don't care.
I think you should take her to the spa for
No, she can go herself, man. She can go get a 3-hour massage, get the facial, get the whole thing. I don't care. For the amount of massages they have, she better get the full body treatment, like at this point. I mean, jeez.
You must not
Anyway.
be home if you're talking like that.
Yeah. No, she's home. I'm just in my man cave and the door has not opened, as you can tell. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for joining us for our podcast. We enjoy it. We are going to have a lot more videos coming up, including we're going to talk about some features in iMessage that you're not even using on your Mac. Frank has a new numbers video that we have coming out. So we have a lot of great content coming out. So please subscribe to our podcast channel. We appreciate it. Go on our YouTube. We are hot on YouTube right now. Subscribe to us. Let us get to that 1,000 level. We're not that far away. So thank you everybody for joining us on the Think Different podcast. We will see you guys next time, and I love every single one of you.
Have a good day, man.